Good morning. Scott coming to you from the Pacific Crest Trail, day 6. Finally made it out of that cabin this morning, even though the rain persisted. Raining like crazy. It has finally let up, so I whipped out my camera to let you know what's going on. So it is 22 miles to the next opportunity to resupply, which is Mount Laguna. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. And I intend to make it to mile 12 today and then have a little bit shorter of a day tomorrow into Mount Laguna, where I can hopefully get some hot food if the restaurant is open or serving takeout, hopefully, or resupply at a small resupply place they have. So I'm hiking this morning with a small group. I'm a little bit ahead right now. They stopped to shed some rain gear, but hiking with a small group of really nice people, 3 of whom I know met over my cabin stay, and someone I met new this morning from the UK. So don't know if we'll stay together all day. Likely not. Everybody hikes a little bit different speeds, especially early on. But I'm hoping that we can all meet in 12 miles at the designated sort of campsite. Everybody kind of had the same 12-mile plan today. 12 miles puts us at just under 5,000 feet, which is supposed to be below any new snow today. If we pushed on any further, we'd actually be about 6,000 feet, and that's where obviously it's colder. We run more chance of snow. So we're gonna stop in about 12 miles. Don't know how long it'll take. Thinking probably early evening, 5 maybe. Time to set up camp and make dinner. Hopefully the rain will cooperate. But right now the rain's not falling and the temperature's really nice. I'm getting a little sweaty actually from having rain gear on. If I was confident it wasn't gonna rain, I might shed some of this rain gear, but anyway, that's sort of the plan today. I can't tell you how good it feels to get out hiking again after being cooped up in that cabin for 2.5 days. I had a house guest last night. Chris from Austria knocked on my door and said, "Hey, I'm cold. I don't want to pitch my tent. Do you have any room in your cabin?" And I said, "Come on in, friend." And he spent the night with me. Again, I can't overstate it enough. Everybody I meet on the PCT has been super nice, and he was no exception to that, for sure. We talked quite a bit, and he's actually staying in the cabin again tonight. But I'll insert a picture of Chris and me right about here. All right, back on trail after a quick second breakfast, is what hikers call it. Eat before you leave camp, somewhere around 10:30, maybe a little later, depending on what time you want to eat lunch. We have a second breakfast, which is really just a snack. And I had almond Snicker bar for my second breakfast and some Gatorade. And with all this rain we've had, it is no surprise that the trail is definitely flooded. You can see that people have expanded the trail width-wise. PCT really frowns on that. They'd rather us walk through this water because they don't like the trail to creep. As you can see around this puddle, the trail is creeping over here in the grass. And of course, I'm contributing. I'm sorry. But anyway, it was about 40 degrees when we started out this morning in the rain. And I would imagine it's probably warmed up to maybe 43, 45, not really sure, but it is still pretty doggone cold. But once you have your pack on and you're moving, I'm not cold. When I slow down, I get cold. When I stop, I get cold. But as long as I'm moving, I'm doing all right. So anyway, thought I'd tell you a little bit about people I'm hiking with. I might have mentioned already, but two young kids from Olympia, Washington, Hayden and his girlfriend, Ashley. Really nice kids. Hiking with them. And then a girl whose trail name is Sweeps is still behind. And she's from Texas. And then up ahead, there's a woman from the UK. And I don't know what her name is. I haven't met her yet. You might be able to see her up there in red. But so it's a group of 5. And like I said earlier, I don't know if this is just a 1-day group, a 2-day group. Not really sure. But they're all nice people and I enjoy talking with them, so I'm happy to hike with them today. So I am, I am high above some California interstate. I don't have any idea what that is, but we crossed under it maybe a mile and a half back. But it is still very cloudy on this day. Although I thought for a second the sun was starting to peek out. This is the hillside to my right, way up there. And the trail forward. Sorry about the cameraman. Looks like he's drunk. I need to test that dude. Oh wait. Anyway, I just had lunch. I found a nice flat rock on the side of the trail. And I'd had a big old sleeping pad. Not the one I sleep on in my tent, but a foam one. Could have stretched out on that thing and taken a nap. Which, if it had been a little bit sunnier and not so wet, would have probably felt really good. But I haven't checked my mileage. Probably should, just to sort of get an idea of how much longer we have today. But it's quite a bit uphill right now. As you can see, it's dodging a lot of little rocks, hoping that one of them doesn't have twisted ankle written all over it. But I have sure stumbled over a few and slipped on a couple and thought, oh, that was a close one. But I've had a few close ones, but nothing so far. Knock on, I don't know, granite maybe, not wood. Anyway, I will check back with you later.
Somewhere there's a falls. I think we already missed the turn off to that, not that I wanted it. There's no sound on that, is there?
There is. Do you want me to delete it?
No.
I didn't capture you, just your voice. That is so pretty.
It's beautiful.
Hello. So it is the end of day 6, and after a couple nights, actually 3 nights, in that heated cabin, this is feeling pretty cold. So we hiked 12 miles from the cabin site that we were at, and we are about 10 miles from Mount Laguna, and we should make that tomorrow. We stopped at this particular place because it is about 1,000 feet below where the trail will take us tomorrow, and less chance of cold, although it's cold, but less chance of snow for sure. So we're holed up here trying to stay out of the rain. I think the temperature is about 39 degrees. It is raining pretty steadily, although sometimes it's hard to distinguish what's actual rain and what's falling from the trees with the wind. But needless to say, I have shed all of my wet and sweaty hiking clothes and put on what I refer to as my camp clothes, which are warm and dry, that I pulled from my pack. That includes this puffy jacket. So I'm not terribly cold right now, and I'm not yet in my sleeping bag. But once I crawl into that, I'll be not necessarily willing to crawl back out, unless I have to. So I do need to make dinner first. I need to eat. So I'll be doing that shortly. I'll probably cook up some ramen tonight. It's easy to cook with just hot water, so that's what I'm gonna do. Making a little ramen. Shrimp flavor. Yuck. That's all they had. And then, as most hikers do, we'll probably, and by we I mean me and the folks that I hiked with today and that are camped around, will probably get to bed early. If it weren't raining, perhaps we would do something a bit more social, but perhaps not. It was a long day of hiking, but at any rate, everybody's cold and wet, so everybody's hanging out in their tents, quite certain. I don't think that'll change. So tomorrow, hopefully, is going to be a drier day with some sunshine, and should be a better day of hiking. Anyway, the end of day 6. Still having fun. And still get to communicate with Lauren, which is cool. The Garmin works well. It's a little bit slow. It's not like you're texting across town that you might be used to, but it takes maybe a minute or two to get a message sent, and probably a minute or two to get a return message back. But it's okay. It's a pleasure to have it, to be honest. So, all right, end of day 6. Thanks, folks.